Is it you creating your reality, or is it another higher power, or is it you together? What's your perspective?
I think God made me to be an example for other people. And I think that the bigger the testimony, the bigger the change. And I think he put me through some pretty big tests. And that's why I got a pretty big testimony. I think that's the reason why we're blowing up and we're changing people's lives. I'm grateful for everything that has happened.
Look at me, habibi. Dubai Jeep, let's get it. Look at me, habibi. Dubai Jeep, let's get it. Bags, expensive.
Don't touch me.
Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Nah, I have to back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up.
Welcome to another episode of Stroke of Success Podcast. It's your favorite host, KB. Today's guest is someone real special. I'm sure you heard of him. I'm sure you've seen him all over social media. I met this individual almost a year ago at the Vault conference by Patrick Bet-David. He's changed my life in many ways, and it's changed yours as well. Please welcome Andy Elliott from the Elliott Group here. Andy, thank you for coming on.
What's up, brother? Hey, that was good, man. Andy? Well, number one, every single one of us is capable of greatness, and when we get it, you know, they always say, you know, where you're at, when you make money, it just magnifies, you know, who you were, right? And I always thought, man, if I could just ever get a break, and I don't mean like, you know, like, but if I could get my shot, if God will give me an opportunity to just play all my cards, you know, I'm not gonna let anyone down, man. I remember when I was younger, you know, they always say be careful to meet the people that you look up to, because when you meet them, you're like, damn, man, I shouldn't have met that guy. You know, yeah, and by the way, I've met a lot of people too that in 2019, I started to get online and I started to see, you know, what was possible. You know, Tony Robbins, you know, all these guys, Andy Frisella, Ed Milet, you know, Patrick Bet-David on Valuetainment. I start seeing these guys and I'm like, man, dude, I'm like, you know, you could become that. You know, you could be a big leader like that. And I remember I was like, I'm going to study. I'm going to be their best students. I'm going to learn everything that they know. I'm going to be super coachable. And I'm like, given my opportunity, if I ever, you know, become successful, you know, I was making money, but I mean, like, if I could ever really be a good influencer and a good leader, I would always stay super humble. I always tell my wife, we're broke people with money. I remember when I was young, I was 20 years old, and I walked into church. I was thinking about giving my life to God. I remember walking in and I had holy jeans. And I remember a lady greeted me and she was like, can I help you? And I was like, yeah, I'm here for the service. And she was like, yeah, I think you're in the wrong place. And I remember just thinking, man, like I don't fit in. I don't like rich people. And, you know, so I was like, if I ever make it, I'm going to be a broke person with money. I'm going to change the world. My goal is to be really good to everybody. But anyway, so like, you know, awesome to meet you, dude. You've got a great following. I mean, obviously you've changed tons of lives. You changed your life. You've changed your mind. You've changed your perspective. You've changed your family. You've changed your bloodline, you know. So like, I love that. I'm just doing the same thing that you're doing, man. And I'm a psycho competitor. As an adult, this is my sport. And I've learned that right now everybody's qualified to live a crazy good life. And I believe in, you know, physical, mental, business. I believe in staying close to God. I believe in, you know, taking care of your family, breaking generational curses, breaking your bloodline. You know, I believe we're alive in a very special time right now, man. And
You're right.
Yeah.
Jump in that. So generational curses, I'm a big believer. Your childhood, let's get into that. What type of household were you raised in?
Yeah, so my mom left when I was 2, right? 5 brothers and sisters, Jerry Springer shit show growing up, raised by kids, no parents were ever around. I would tell you, you know, it was probably the best thing for me, because I always tell people, if you suffer as an adult, you know, or I mean, if you suffer as a kid, you kill it as an adult. Most people that have a really good life as a kid, you know, they suffer as an adult. And so like, you know, disappointment, you know, just being looked down on, you know, never really, you know, having any financial, like, you know, there was never $5 to go eat, you know, go out to eat or go do something, empty refrigerators, no school money, you know, like, that's just all like, that was, I mean, by the way, like 90% of the world grew up that same way. But at 18 years old, so growing up was just pretty much I don't know, lower class. You know, my mom and dad have both been married 7 or 8 times, broken family, you know. But dude, I should write thank you letters to all those people, because I wouldn't be who I am today had I not been through any of that. I mean, I have such a good perspective on life, man.
But now, Andy, now you do, right? At this stage of your life. Back then, because I come from a broke house and I was miserable, single mom, Brooklyn, New York, right, rats all over the place, welfare, food stamps. And I was so bitter until my stroke happened and my paradigm shifted. I found you, Patrick, but David, Adam Elliott, all the OGs I can speak about. And here I am. For you, where would that shift happen for you?
18 years old. So 18 years old, I literally get a job selling cars. So number one, dude, I barely graduated. A tornado blows my school over. I got straight D's. So that means I have to take the semester test. So I'm gonna fail. So I'm gonna get held back again, right? But because our tornado wiped our school out, they said if you had passing grades, then you get to pass. And so like literally, dude, I passed high school because of a tornado. And once I did that, the next month I spent doing construction work, you know, making $200 a week, working 15 hours a day, lifting heavy stuff as labor. And literally, man, I remember I was sitting there one night, I had fiberglass all in my body. I was so tired, man. And my buddy's older brother ran a car dealership. He was 24 years old. And he goes, Andy, he goes, what if you could make $5,000 a month and you sold cars? And I remember, I mean, by the way, so he needed some salespeople is what he's saying to me. And I said, dude, if I could make $5,000 a month, I'd be rich. And I've never held more than $5 in my hand. And so anyways, he picks me up, gives me a ride to work, gives me clothes to wear. I literally sold a car that day. I got lucky. It was a laydown. It was the easiest sell of my life. I got very lucky. I didn't do anything. I wasn't good at anything. I just showed up. I was there. He wanted to buy. It happened. He paged me in the office when it was done. And he goes, Andy, do you know how much money you just made? And I said, if I made $5, I mean, just enough money to go eat a Subway sandwich, I'm starving. I haven't eaten anything all day at 6 p.m. at night. And he goes, Andy, you just made $1,700. And when he said that, I remember my blood started to flow differently in my veins. And I was like, and I remember saying, this is my way out. Like, this is simple. Like I just said, this is my way out. And from that day forward, sales and leadership, I would study those two until I would go through my next total recreation step, which is 39. So I earned about $2.5 million. By the time I was 20, I was making $500,000 a year selling. And then I went to about $700,000-800,000 selling, and then I got into leadership, and then I had to do it with the team. And then I worked my way up to about $2.5 million at 39 years old. After doing all this work for 20 years, I just looked up, man, honestly, I just hated myself. I just worked so hard that honestly, I was one-dimensional. I thought that success, the definition of success at that time was my wife's got a paid-off house, our kids can go to a private school, she has a purse full of cash, we had a paid-off house, and really at the end of the day, success meant money. And dude, I wasn't impacting anybody's life. I looked in the mirror, I wasn't proud of me. I wasn't in good shape. I wasn't close to God. Me and my wife, we were better than most, but we weren't as close as we should be. My children didn't choose me as their hero at that point. I was a good dad, but I wasn't their hero. There was a lot of areas. My wife goes, why are you being one-dimensional? It's time for us to get it all. And that was the day I went dark, and I changed everything. So I would just tell everybody, there's a big shortage of leadership in this world, and I'm telling you, if what we talked about on this call, if I could have had me at 18 and they would have said, Andy, yeah, you're going to sacrifice for what you want, or what you want becomes a sacrifice. That's normal. But also, if God is important to you, God goes with you on the journey. If your health is important to you, your health goes with you on the journey. The way that you see the world will determine everything, your perspective. Like you said, you had the stroke, and then all of a sudden you start seeing life differently. Food tastes better. I'm sure things smell better. You can see the trees now. You're all of a sudden like, dude, I'm not taking this for granted anymore. It's time to kick some ass, right?
100%. Andy, let's go back 1 second. So 18 years old, got into automotive sales. That's amazing. Your mindset, you're young, good-looking guy. Did you get into partying, some bad habits? I mean, like, what was the lifestyle making that much money at a young age?
Yeah, I was definitely partying. Yeah, I was definitely partying. I was going to the gym.
You forgot that life. Remember, you're supposed
Oh yeah, I was perfect. I got straight A's, and my wife. So, yeah, never did a drug in my life.
That's our kids' story.
Yeah, that's what we tell our kids. No, I'm just kidding. But I did everything wrong, and I'm going to tell you, once you start making money, if you don't have good guidance, well, you just do bad things. But the one thing I'll tell you that I did change again at 39 years old is I changed my intentions. At 18 years old, at 39, my intentions were to change other people's lives. At 18 years old until 39, it was to change my life. And I think that's the thing that's not really taught anymore. Leaders live for a bigger vision than themselves, and I was literally just trying to take care of me. And so, like, anytime that I had money, you know, which I made good money, I just blew it as fast as I made it. A lot of that money fell through my fingers because I would party, I would run around. Met my wife when I was 26, she was 24. She's the one that changed my life at that point. And honestly, I never had a mom, so she like started to mother me. Like, this is how you need to start acting. You know what I mean?
It's therapy?
No.
Never
no.
therapy.
No, listen, and by the way, like, people can go to therapy and that's all cool. I'm gonna tell you, dude, you know what your vitamins are? You know your therapy? It's literally going to the gym and taking care of yourself, and then it's helping other people. There's two things that have made me feel amazing. One has been helping other people. Look, if you were to give me $1 million or I was to help someone, the feeling, the endorphins, the chemicals that get released, the serotonin, the oxytocin, these amazing feelings that get released when I help someone are way bigger than the $1 million paycheck. So I'll say this, like, I love helping people and I'm addicted to that. But number two is the gym. Like, the gym, to me, was one of the biggest paradigm shifts. And I think that's why my wife, have you ever seen our story where she grabbed my love handle and she's like, hey man, you're getting comfortable? You know, dude, I always, when I wasn't taking care of me, I wasn't doing a very good job of taking care of everyone else. And so, like, she was always making sure that, you know, you got to take care of yourself, man. I mean, it's just, you know, I know we're in an era where people don't like to talk about it a lot, but dude, you can't give someone what you don't have. You can't make someone become something you're not. I can't love you if I don't love me. Like, dude, it's just the way life works, okay? So, you know.
Yeah, if your cup is not full, you can't pour it to anyone else's, right? That's what I hear. So yeah. I met your wife, she's beautiful. There's one thing I love, I remember to this day as a T, you guys were holding hands, sitting down together like you was recently married. Yep. I've been married for 14 years. My story is very similar to yours. I met my wife at a very dark time. I lost my mom, a lot of drugs and drug abuse, living in Miami. And she came in my life at a time where, like, she just picked me up and put me on track. So I relate with you. But I don't see that as much these days.
No.
Talk to me about that. Talk to me, what age were you when your wife came into your life? How were you mentally? Tell that story, because I think it's really important for my audience to learn. But the world we're living in today, man, is just these apps, hit and smash, you know, and there's no connection. Talk about that.
Well, so number one, my wife's my superpower, right? I mean, it's wow. Super important. She's my superpower. I mean, she's right over there. Baby girl, say what's up.
Hey.
How's it going?
Yeah.
Awesome to see you.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, she's always right here with me. She's always right here. So, but what I'll tell you is there's this, me and my wife live by some rules, and it's if you treat something like it's the beginning, there'll never be an end, right? And by the way, like, even in business, you have to keep it new. Even in your life, like, you got to keep your life new, or else you lose sight of it. But so if you treat something like it's the beginning, there'll never be an end. If I see two people that are fighting or going to marriage counseling, I'm like, dude, if you guys just treated each other like you did when you first met each other, you guys wouldn't be fighting no more. And so that's a big one. If you treat something like it's the beginning, there'll never be an end. Number two, me and my wife aren't afraid to fight. You know, we like to fight fast. We like to get shit over with. And then, you know, if 5 minutes later after we fight, we honestly operate like we've never fought, like we're done. Like we could get into a big fight because me and her, we hold each other to very high standards. And when I say fight, I mean we fight about something that's bothering each other because we're best friends. Look, my wife's my fantasy. She's my best friend. She's my business partner. She's my workout partner. She's my counselor. She's the CEO. She's the mother of my children. She's my wife. I mean, she's everything to me. So when you're doing this life, I mean, we're rolling together every single day. When there's ever a problem, me and her, we fight to get it over with. We listen to each other, but we fight fair. We never get historical, which means we don't bring up shit from the past. I released a video on YouTube this morning, and it said 5 things that ruin every man's life. And the number one thing was marrying the wrong person or having the wrong partner. Because listen, as a man, my wife, if I make a mistake, she can either build me up and say, hey baby, God made you to be great. You had to go through this to get you ready for what you're gonna go through next. You know, you're gonna change the world. I believe in you. That's not who you are. This is who you are. Look at me in the eyes. Okay, we're gonna go change. Or she could say, I knew you were gonna do that. Why can't you grow up? And she could just cut your legs off every time. And she could literally remind you that you're a bad person, which will allow a man to not be able to change. And the one thing that I love about my wife is my wife, anytime I've ever made a mistake, she's always said, Andy, like, this is the time, this needed to happen for you to go to the next level. Now we're gonna do that today. Today was a good learning lesson. And so she doesn't,
I love that.
yeah, she doesn't cut my legs off. So
I love that.
yeah, we fight fair. Don't get historical. Stay pure. We don't cheat on each other, okay? Like common sense shit. I mean, but the main deal is we treat each other like it's a beginning. And then one last thing, we are where our feet are. You know what that means? You know, we're at work right now. Okay, what does that mean? That means she's working, I'm working. Okay, cool. When we're at the gym, we're at the gym. When we're at home, we're at home. When we're with each other, we're with each other. When we go to dinner, we're at dinner. We're not on our phones. Hey, and I'm gonna tell you something cool about me. You probably don't know this, but I'm ultra disciplined, okay? So like, I know that human beings hate discipline. I know that human beings hate responsibility. I know they hate accountability. I know they hate pain. I know they hate suffering. So we get 100 to 150 million views every 30 days on social media. I don't even have social media on my phone. I don't have it. If you look at my phone right now, go to all 5 channels, 6 channels, I'm not on there. Listen, I've got social media on a computer in another office. I don't get notifications on my phone. If I want to go see what's going on social media, I'll walk into the next office. I've got a team that runs that for me. I am the content, but I don't watch that shit. I don't watch it, man. I'm telling you, everybody goes to sleep on a screen. They wake up on a screen. Look, dude, if you wake up out of bed and within the first 1 minute you're reaching over to grab your phone before doing anything else, you're an addict. And I'm telling you, this is the secret to success. How we built a 9-figure business in a short period of time is because literally I don't have these vices and crutches, because I know how addictive, I'm an addictive person. I'm addicted to winning. I'm addicted to having an obsession to these things. If I literally, think about it, watch my social media all day long, like, I'm never gonna get anything done. And matter of fact, I have anxiety rustling through my body because I'm trying to feel something that's fake. Social media, what we're doing right now is real. It's made to change people's lives, but just like anything, too much of it is bad for you. Okay?
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I don't have it on my phone, man. It's not there.
No.
It's hard to believe, but I got it, man. Jacqueline, wow. The fact that you guys work out together, you work together, go home together, some people would say that that's a recipe for disaster for a marriage. But obviously, you proved that wrong.
Oh, yeah, it's a superpower. Listen, look, let me tell you something, dude. The superpower is your partner.
Wow.
Okay? Listen, your wife, listen, man, I'm going to tell you something. No one else in this world wants you to become a better and a stronger man than your wife. But what happens is when she sees you being able to be a better version of yourself, she speaks up, and most men say, hey, why you nagging me? Like, why are you wearing me out? But if it was someone else, like let's say Tony Robbins called you today, or Patrick Bet-David, yeah, or let's say me, but let's say Patrick Bet-David called you today and goes, hey man, I want you to fix this thing. You'd be like, yes, sir. No, man, I'm going to fix it right now. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's go. But your wife's been saying, hey, I need you to fix this thing. I need you to hey, watch this. Your wife calls you and goes, hey, babe, when you're at home with me, you're not really with me and the kids. You're on your phone a lot. You're not present with us. You know, like, do you think you could give us some time because we miss you, we need you? And you're like, babe, I got business to do. But if Patrick was to call you and say, hey, when you go home, you throw your phone in the trash can and you stay away from it and you go be a good man and be with your family, you'd be like, yes, sir. You go home and all of a sudden, you're like, babe, I'm not going to be on my phone no more and I'm going to be here. And she's like, I've told you that 50 times. I told you that 50,000 times, and every time you get mad at me. Why has someone else got to tell me and I can't tell you? So what I realize is that my wife, if I get sick right now and you've had a stroke, so like you know, who was there with you when you had your stroke? Okay, there were a lot of buddies that didn't show up. Okay, there was the boss, there was the job that was telling you, hey, we need more out of you, and you're like, hey babe, can't come home because I got to be with these guys. And those people weren't there, but she was there, okay? So I want you to understand, when I said your wife's your superpower, or your partner, or your husband, okay? I need you to understand, the greatest thing, the atomic bomb that you could drop in this world to just totally just blowing up your life and creating a life no one ever imagined would be to take your family with you, take your wife with you, take your kids with you, create big dreams together. And dude, that's what I do. And so me and her, we're inseparable. We're everywhere together. We never leave each other's side. But you know what? We don't walk around on eggshells around each other. We're able to have direct conversations with each other. We're not afraid to confront each other when one of us are falling out of line. And dude, like that's the secret, man. And if anybody's listening to me, I'm telling you, you take your family with you, you become the most dangerous, successful person on planet Earth, and you'll have a life of achievement and a life of fulfillment. Getting rich and living a rich life, you should be able to get both. And that's what we got.
That's amazing. I recently opened up a med spa, and I told you this at the vault. Me and my wife, my business partner, opened up a med spa here in Orlando, and we had a ribbon cutting. Our kids were there. We'd bring the kids to the office all the time. And someone telling me, like, man, you and your wife are taking away time for the kids, and we are, but we try to do the best we can. But then Alex Morton, big speaker, as you know, he was like, dude, opposite. Your kids are watching you. You and your wife built an empire. Tell me about your kids. Like, how do they receive you guys working so hard?
Dude, my children, they literally watch me and my wife. If you ask my daughter what she wants to be when she grows up, she'll say her mom.
Wow.
Like, come on, man. Like, what are you talking about? Like, dude, parents going home and spending time with your kids isn't what it's about. It's showing your kids what's possible and showing them the example, and then again, taking them with you. Our children, like, they're here at work right now. They're in our office. We have a school, we homeschool them. They're back over here with us. I mean, they're here with us all the time. I mean, listen, here's the deal. It's your life. You own it. You can create it to be whatever you want. If anybody goes, well, I can't do that. You can do whatever you want. That's bullshit. You can make whatever you want. So, but anyways, I would tell you this. My number one job in my life is that when I die, I want to make sure that if I tell my kid his entire life that he can do whatever he wants to do, then I need to make sure that he saw me be able to do whatever I wanted to do, so he knows that it's the truth. Because
that's amazing.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of parents out there that their kids look up to them and want to be like them. And there's a lot of people that'll say, well, I just don't want that. What do you mean? Of course you want that. You want to show your kids what's possible. You want to dream big. And by the way, the fact that me and their mom run together every day, it shows them what a marriage is supposed to look like. So one day when they get married, they can be powerful also. Like what do you mean? Like, our job is to also be the example of what a good man looks like for my daughter and what an amazing woman looks like to my son.
Two topics popped up in my head. Law of attraction. Do you believe it?
Yeah, facts. Whatever. If you can see it in your mind, you can get it.
Then there's this other school of thought that comes in. I'm Muslim. I have a lot of Christian friends, Muslim friends, Jewish friends, all over the world. I have friends. And they'll say every religion kind of comes in and say, wait a minute, no, you're not putting God. How do you saying you create your reality? God is the creator. And I've asked this question to multiple influencers. They have an answer. What's your response to that? Is it you creating your reality, or is it another power, higher power, or is it you together? What's your perspective?
No, I think God made me to be an example for other people. And I think that the bigger the testimony, right, the bigger the change. And I think he put me through some pretty big tests. And that's why I got a pretty big testimony. I think that's the reason why we're blowing up and we're changing people's lives. And I think that it was all his work. And so I'm grateful for it all. I'm grateful for everything that has happened. Every time that the time I almost went to jail, the time that, Jackie said, hey, I've learned to live without you. You need to get your shit together. You're letting me down. The time that I betrayed people, the time I got betrayed, the time that I played the victim, the time I didn't work out, the time I did, the time I burned people, the time I got burned by people. Like, all those things needed to happen for me to ultimately go through total recreation. So like in the Bible, and obviously you talked about different religions, but there's this guy named the Apostle Paul, right? Like, that took the Bible the furthest. And he was once Saul. He was a Christian killer. Like, people go from like being these really bad people to really good people. They go from being really poor to really rich. They go from being really bad, hatred people to being the most loving people on planet Earth. And so I definitely believe, I believe personally in Christ. And there's lots of different religions, but I will tell you this, 100%, no doubt that I believe that God has had me go through what I went through so that I could help other people that have gone through crap, which is 95% of the world, and they can turn their lives around.
Beautiful. That's amazing. Do you have an example, something you were younger, you and Jackie were thinking about, a goal, and you had a vision board or something, and now you manifested it? And one example with the audience?
Yeah, I mean, tons. I mean, listen, me and Jackie, I mean, this is how crazy she is, like, which is why I love, like, making sure you take your partner with you, is that Jackie would be like, hey, you know, we're gonna, and I'm giving you an example, you know, we're gonna buy that house. And we would be just on a walk in a neighborhood. And let's say we're going back to our 20s, and I lived in a $200,000 house, and it would be like $1 million house. And Jackie would be like, we're gonna buy that house. And then I would say something to her along these lines like, oh, okay, Miss Ballsy Pants, like go knock on the door. And like, if you can get them to sell it, we'll buy it. And dude, Jackie would walk up to the door and just knock on any random person's door and be like, we're gonna buy your house. And she would walk in, and literally 30 days later, it wasn't even for sale, and we're buying it, and we don't even have the money to, I mean, really, we're putting everything out there, and we'd put our back against the wall. And I remember one time specifically, I told her, I was doing the math in my calculator on this 30-year calculator. I was like, dude, if we do this for 30 years, we could, she goes, Andy, you're dumb. She goes, we're gonna pay this off in 4 years. And I go, that's impossible. And I did the math from what we were making now, so law of attraction. Jackie goes, no, we're gonna freaking put our back against the wall. We're gonna put all the chips on the table, and that's really the level that we should be playing out. So we built a vision board, when we were gonna pay it off, what was gonna happen, what we were gonna do. And literally, we paid that house off in 2.5 years. I was 28 years old, she was 26. And I'm gonna tell you something. Here's the goal. So yes, we have vision boards all over our company. Every 6 months, our company here, our whole company, I've got 100 guys that work for me in Scottsdale, Arizona. Their families all come up and they build vision boards every 6 months. Me and Jackie only run about 6-month goals. The reason why is because, you know, we've learned to build what it takes most people 3 lifetimes to build, and we can build it in 3 months or 3 years. So like my goal is that, like Patrick talks about, compressing time frames, turning decades into days. We're alive in a very unique time right now where if you can become a leader, if you become a psycho competitor, if you can self-develop, if you can recreate and change, like, oh my God. Like, I'm living proof that you can do anything. So me and her, we manifest everything. You know, we're building $30 million in buildings around our company right now on top of what we currently have. We're creating the Elliott Army Event Center, which will hold 2,500 people right here. We're building out all these things around us, and we envision these things, and then we just build them. It's a law of attraction. It's like Conor McGregor said. He's like, I'm gonna knock this guy out in the 3rd round, minute 2, roundhouse kick to the head. That shit's real. And by the way, like, I'm gonna say one last thing, is that, bet against me. Patrick Bet-David always talks about, it's on Dana White's wall. It says, bet against me. And we're God believers, but it says, may God have mercy on my enemies because I won't. Wow. Okay, and it says, tell me it won't happen. Tell me I'm not going to achieve it. Say I'm not capable of doing it. I love it. I love every bit of it.
I love that. Yeah. Andy, I have so many questions, and we're going to do a face-to-face, God willing, real soon. But I want to wrap this up. I have 2 more questions, and you're a busy man. And thank you, Andy, for doing this for me and my audience. It means a lot, man. Where do I go with this? Okay, your daily routine, and after that, I'm going to into the book. But your daily routine, my audience loves that. So.
Yeah. Okay. So super important. If anybody goes to Instagram, right? Because we're talking about a daily routine. But if anybody goes to Instagram and you type in official Andy Elliott. Every morning, I start my stories, not my reels, not my content, but my stories. If you go tap on my story, it starts my daily routine. Okay, so like if you wanted to see, like, what's Andy gonna do today? What's his daily routine? You'll go right now and you'll tap on my story and it will show this morning I was cold plunging. I went for a walk for 45 minutes with my wife through the hills. We cold plunged and then we went and worked out. Like, if you go to my stories, you'll see it right now. And so, like, I want you to know that there's a book that Andy Frisella wrote. It's called The Book of Mental Toughness. In the beginning of the book, when you open it, it says, you want me to show you a magic trick? And then it says, what if I told you exactly what your body fat was? What if I told you how much money you had in the bank? What if I could tell you what your relationship looks like with your wife? What if I could show you how you view the world, how the world views you? What if I could show you all of these things, right? Would you believe me? And it says, show me your last 500 days routine, and I'll show you every single one of these things. And so I want to tell you something. My routine, and by the way, if I wake up and my routine doesn't go exactly right, I'm not going to trip out. I'm not one of these routine freak people that, like, if it don't go perfect, I'm like, oh, I can't make it now. Oh my God, I didn't get this done. No, dude, I confront the work, I go kill it, I crush it, I make it a great day, okay? Because I know things are going to happen sometimes, and that's just the way life works. But in an ideal, everyday, most case scenario, I wake up at 5 a.m., okay? I cold plunge with my wife, me and her, each for 4 minutes, 37 degrees. Then we go for a 30 to a 40-minute walk.
10 seconds longer.
Yeah, Jackie's always trying to beat me by going 10 seconds longer and how long I go.
Love it.
Right, but listen, notice we do it together. We suffer together. We enjoy it together. We go for a walk together. And then we go to the gym, and then we work out together. And we push each other hard, and we work out together. And it never gets old. Then I'm at work by 8:15. We kick off an 8:15 work meeting until 9 o'clock. From 8:15 to 9 o'clock, we train. From 9 until 6 o'clock, we hustle, we work. 6 o'clock, we go home. We're with our kids. We go eat dinner. We go on a walk with our kids. We spend time with them. We're at home. Me and her usually end up doing another hour or two of work at night, or self-development, or training. And then we're in bed by 11 o'clock, have sex every single night. And guess what? We're back up at 5 a.m.
Wow. 7 days a week, sex?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, listen, dude. Listen. I'll say one thing. I don't care what religion you are. The devil came to kill, steal, destroy, and the number one way for him to dismantle your life is to dismantle your relationship with the one you love. I'm going to tell you this. When's the last time you've had sex with your wife and woke up mad at her?
Can't remember. Can't.
All right, now you know. Hey, feels good too, by the way, but it keeps the devil out of our bed. Most people, listen to me, have sex tonight with your wife, go to bed, okay? And then when you wake up, see how you feel. And then don't have sex, wake up, see how you feel. And I think you'll say, because I'm a person that plays the odds. If I do this, you know, what's the outcome? If I do this, what's the outcome? And if I do this and the outcome's better, if I go work out and I'm in a better mood for the next 12 hours, why would I wake up and not go work out? Okay, like this, exactly. So anyway, so a routine is something that allows you against all odds, no matter what's going on, for you to play your best game in any situation. And so we build these routines around us playing our best odds, our best game.
Love it. Love it. Andy, that's an amazing. That's a good perspective for my audience, for myself too. The book, man. I'm excited. Share about your book. What do you got going on? What's happening?
Yeah, so we're releasing a book. We've never wrote one. We've had a bunch of different, I call them like field manuals, right? That show you like how to overcome objections, how to be a great salesperson, how to close, you know, what are scripts that we use, because, you know, we talk all the time on the phone. This is our first real book we released. And by the way, it's called Total Recreation. Okay? It's very simple. What does that mean? It's a book that shows you how I went from being this guy that literally felt like I was better than most. I want you to remember, poison is better than most. Average should make you sick. The God of this generation is comfort. The God of this generation is comfort. I was better than most. I was comfortable, but I wasn't being the hero for my kids. I wasn't being the person I should be in business. Dude, I 50x'd my income. I want you to hear me out here. I 50x'd my income on this total recreation process. And so I decided to write a book on my total recreation, exactly what I did, how I did it, in every step of the way, how I totally transformed my life. If you look me up on old videos and then you see who I am now, you see my whole body's changed, body recomposition, mind recomposition, marriage recomposition, financial recomposition, everything's changed. And then literally on the first part of the book, it's total recreation. How I started, what I did, where I got pissed off. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I took action, exactly what I did. And then what's really cool is that on the back side of it, I put 365 days of actionables that are the exact same thing that I did, that anyone else in this world can replicate, to create total recreation in their life. So basically, I took all the guesswork out of it, and it's God, it's mindset, it's marriage, it's your children, it's fitness, and then it's financial strategy, how to make money. I built it all into one, and literally, dude, my number one goal is I just want to get this book to totally recreate as many millions of people as I can, so that they can max out human excellence, they can max out their potential, and they can break their bloodline like I did, or they can break generational curses like we did. That's it.
It's a blueprint. You have sat down, you and the missus, and put everything that you guys gone through, your actual story, and what worked for you. And someone like myself, 42 years old, who was also recreating my life, or someone 22, 23 can come and learn and do those steps to succeed. Bottom line.
Dude, when you read this book, you're literally going to want to punch yourself in the face.
Wow.
I'm not even joking, because you're going to be like, number one, first thing is you're going to be like, I can do this. Like, I can do this. And then you're going to do it. And there's the day you die, the day you're born, and the day your life changes forever. And that's it. And dude, listen, I said this to somebody the other day. They go, what's the hardest thing that you have in your life? And I said, well, most people would think I would say discipline, but it's not. It's a regret. The hardest thing that I can imagine would be regret. The only thing that can bring me to my knees that will make me cry is regret. And I'll tell you this, if I could tell everybody, this book, Total Recreation, which everybody's pre-ordering it right now, but if they want to text the 918, there's a number to text if you want to
Please share. I'll put up my details on the bottom of the video.
Yeah, so it's simple. All you got to do is just text the word book, like B-O-O-K. Just text the word book to 918-210-0254. So 918-210-0254. Just text the word book, and you can pre-order it. And then they literally start shipping November 1. And by the way, I want to say this, like, I figure we'll be backed up for a year shipping them, because that's what's going to happen, because I've never released a book, and every day we get 1,000 DMs that say, when are you going to release a book? So I want to say this, text 918-210-0254, text the word book, and that way we'll put you in the front. And by the way, I want to say this, if I could show everybody what their life would look like 1 year from now, after reading this book, and just doing the actionables, people would fall down there on their knees and start bawling. They wouldn't believe it. It's literally, listen, I'm going to say this. There's the life you live, and then there's the unlived life. And that's the one you were supposed to live. And I want to take people there.
Amazing. Drop the mic, buddy. I can keep speaking to you, and we will do a face-to-face. And there's so much to unplug. I'm going to buy 10 books and give it out to my audience and my friends and family. When is the book coming out? November 1st?
Yeah, we're going to start shipping them November 1st. The book's already getting printing. Look, Andy Frisella, I told you that book of mental toughness that he wrote. When he pre-released his book, it took about 6 months to even start getting people who ordered the book 6 months ago out. So we decided if we could do a pre-order by November 1st, in the order of which people order, that'll be in the order in which we ship them. And so anyways, I pre-ordered Andy's book about 6 months before he launched it. And dude, I was one of the first people that had it. And I'm telling you, I ordered a couple hundred copies for my company. Incredible book. Listen, Andy Frisella doesn't write many books. And when he wrote the book of Mental Toughness, it totally changed my life. I used it as a workbook. I chewed it up 1,900 times. I still chew it up today. And so I wanted to make a book that would be just as impactful, because I'm not a book writer, okay? So if I make one, like, dude, I'm only making it for one reason, and that's to totally recreate your life. So that's why we said if there was one book I would release, it would be called Total Recreation.
Beautiful. Awesome.
The unlived lives, man. That's the one we're going to start living.
Can't wait. Honestly, love you, brother. You're doing God's work. See you at the vault. I'll come back. I'm going to come to your event, I think September, October. Can't wait. I want to meet my wife, and I'm thinking, I have an idea in my mind, but I'd love for you to meet my wife as well.
Yeah, she has to come with you. Done.
Yes.
Good.
We will.
I love it, man.
Thank you for coming on. They can find you on IG, YouTube, Facebook, all over.
Yep. Andy Elliott. It's everywhere, guys. You just type it in. It'll lead you there.
Andy, love you, man. Thank you so much.
Have a blessed day. Love you, bro. Thank you, man.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, you bet, brother. I appreciate you.
Man, you're a dude. I saw you sitting there. The way you talk to everyone at the vault, you talk to me, that left me in Patrick. Patrick the same way, and they talk. You're awesome, man.
Yeah, he'll be here next week or
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lacey.
Thank you so much, KB. I'll be sending you a message here in a little bit, okay?
Love you guys. Bye, guys.
Have a blessed-
Bye.
See you, bro.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.